On an unremarkable Thursday morning, the set of The View hummed with its familiar blend of celebrity gossip, political debate, and a healthy dose of controversy. Millions of viewers tuned in, expecting the usual mix of light-hearted banter and the occasional incendiary remark. But on that day, as the cameras rolled and the studio lights shone brightly on the glossy faces of the co-hosts, something happened that no one could have foreseen. Whoopi Goldberg, known for her fearless commentary and unwavering convictions, leaned forward into the microphone with a determined glint in her eyes. "We need to talk about Elon Musk," she began, her voice carrying equal parts frustration and resolve. The moment hung in the air, every co-host and crew member sensing that something big was about to unfold. This man claims to be a champion of free speech, but let's be honest, what he's doing is dangerous. He isn't protecting dialogue, he's stifling it. He's a threat to democratic conversation. A collective gasp rippled through the studio audience. Phones were raised, and within minutes, short clips of her remarks exploded online. Hashtags like Whoopi v. Elon and free speech debate trended as viewers from across the globe weighed in on the controversy. The debate was instantly polarizing. Some hailed her as a guardian of honest discourse, while others decried her as an adversary of progress, a Hollywood diva out of touch with the real world. Not one to be silenced or to let controversy pass without a response, Elon Musk, never shy of stirring the pot, took to Twitter just hours later. His tweet, terse and unyielding, read, "Whoopi Goldberg's remarks on The View were not only false but defamatory. Time to put facts above feelings. See you in court, Whoopi." In an instant, the digital realm erupted. Social media platforms became battlefields where supporters and detractors of both Musk and Whoopi exchanged barbed comments and memes that oscillated between humorous and scathing. The idea of a billionaire suing a Hollywood icon over a single comment was as unbelievable as it was headline-grabbing. A real-life drama unfolding in the age of viral video and instant news. Behind the scenes, Elon's legal team immediately sprang into action. Drafts were circulated, evidence was gathered, and what would soon become one of the most talked-about defamation cases in modern history began to take shape. Meanwhile, Whoopi doubled down on her statement in her next appearance on The View. "I'm not afraid of Elon Musk," she declared, her tone fierce and unapologetic. "If he wants to sue me for speaking the truth, let him try." Thus began a high-stakes clash between two cultural titans, a billionaire known for his boundary-pushing ventures and unfiltered social media presence, and a celebrated icon whose career had been built on challenging power and speaking honestly to her audience. What started as a verbal exchange on a daytime talk show would soon spiral into a legal and cultural battle with ramifications that reached far beyond the confines of a courtroom. The media frenzy was immediate. Overnight, pundits and political commentators dissected every word, every nuance of Whoopi's fiery monologue. Late-night comedians had a field day, turning the feud into a running joke, while legal experts and free speech advocates debated the merits of Musk's defamation claim. Was it truly a case of damaging falsehoods, or merely a clash of strong opinions in the modern age? For many, the incident became a microcosm of larger cultural tensions. On one side were those who believed that Musk, with his vast wealth and technological influence, should be held accountable for his words and actions, especially when they appeared to undermine the very foundation of open dialogue. On the other side were staunch defenders of free speech, who argued that even a powerful billionaire was not above scrutiny, and that Whoopi's comments, however controversial, were an exercise in the right to speak her mind. Amid this cacophony of opinions, supporters of Musk quickly began circulating his tweet as a rallying cry, praising his willingness to put up a fight against what they saw as an unwarranted personal attack. Hashtags like "Stand with Musk," and accountability now trended on Twitter. Simultaneously, Whoopi's camp argued that her comments were protected opinions, robust, unfiltered, and essential for holding power to account. Social media lit up with messages of solidarity using "Free Speech Matters" and "Whoopi Poop Protest." In boardrooms, academic circles, and family dinner conversations alike, the case became a flashpoint for debates on the nature of defamation, the limits of public discourse, and the responsibilities that come with having a massive platform. In this era of rapid-fire information and instantaneous public judgment, both sides were convinced that the outcome of the lawsuit would have far-reaching implications for the future of free speech in America. Behind the polished veneer of The View, tension had been building long before Whoopi's explosive comment was broadcast. Rumors began to surface that producers had subtly steered the conversation that day, urging her to turn up the heat on Elon Musk, a suggestion that, if true, would cast her remarks in an entirely different light. Anonymous emails leaked from within The View's production team hinted at discussions aimed at boosting ratings by provoking Musk's notorious persona. In one such email, a producer wrote, "Let's make sure we hit him hard. This is the moment we've been waiting for." Yet, when asked directly on air whether she was following any script or direction, Whoopi responded with characteristic bluntness, "I say what I mean and I mean what I say. No one puts words in my mouth." Her insistence was met with applause from some corners and skepticism from others. This revelation added another layer of complexity to the case. Critics argued that if Whoopi had been coached or pressured into making such incendiary remarks, her right to speak freely was not the only issue at stake. There was also the question of editorial manipulation and the ethics of sensationalism in modern media. For Musk's legal team, these details were ammunition, evidence that the comments were not solely the result of personal conviction but were manufactured to incite controversy and, by extension, harm his reputation. Yet, even as production emails and behind-the-scenes footage began to circulate, the focus remained squarely on the courtroom drama that loomed ahead. The legal filings detailed Musk's claims of reputational damage and alleged financial losses tied directly to the viral spread of Whoopi's remarks. They argued that the billionaire had suffered tangible business setbacks, from a temporary dip in Tesla's stock price to lost partnership negotiations, with the negative publicity stemming from the incident. Every line of the documents was scrutinized, dissected by experts and pundits alike, with each side searching for a narrative that would bolster their claims. When the trial finally began in a Los Angeles courthouse, the atmosphere was electric. Reporters, supporters, and curious onlookers packed the halls, their excitement palpable. The courtroom itself was transformed into a stage for a battle of wills, with every detail of the case set to be played out under the watchful eyes of a nation. Elon Musk entered first, his presence imposing yet measured. Flanked by his legal team and dressed in a tailored suit, he exuded the confidence of a man who had faced down challenges time and again. Moments later, Whoopi Goldberg made her entrance. Her stride was purposeful, her demeanor a mix of defiance and calm assurance, a stark contrast to the intensity of the allegations against her. As the judge took his seat, the room fell into an anticipatory hush. Opening statement began, and Musk's attorney painted a picture of a man whose reputation had been unjustly tarnished by reckless and defamatory remarks. "This is not a case about free speech, it is a case about accountability," the attorney argued. "Words have consequences, and in this instance, those consequences were clear, measurable, and damaging." In response, Whoopi's lawyer countered passionately. "Ms. Goldberg is a public figure who has always spoken her truth," she said. "Her statements, though they may be controversial, are opinions protected by the First Amendment. This lawsuit is not about the truth of her opinions. It's an attempt to silence criticism and stifle a conversation that our society desperately needs. The opening statements set the stage for what would become an epic confrontation. Each side presented their vision of the case, a clash between a billionaire who insisted on being held accountable for his reputation and a media personality who argued that speaking one's mind, even if it ruffles feathers, was a cornerstone of democratic society. As the trial progressed, the evidentiary battle intensified. Musk's team introduced internal emails from The View's production staff, emails that hinted at a coordinated effort to fire up the discussion on Elon Musk. These emails, which had been leaked online in the days leading up to the trial, showed producers discussing strategies to generate controversy. In one email, a producer noted, "If we can get Whoopi to say something really outrageous about Musk, we'll have ratings for weeks." For Musk's lawyers, these emails were damning. They argued that the comments were not a spontaneous expression of Whoopi's personal beliefs, but a manufactured assault on their client's reputation. On the other side, Whoopi's legal team maintained that, regardless of any external suggestions, she was speaking her truth. A truth that was her right as an individual and as a free thinker. Then came the unedited footage. A whistleblower from The View stepped forward with raw behind-the-scenes video captured on the day of the broadcast. In the footage, a heated exchange between Whoopi and one of the producers could be seen. "You want me to go harder on Musk?" Whoopi was heard saying, her tone edged with frustration. "I'll say what's on my mind, but don't expect me to carry your agenda." The clip, once made public, sent shockwaves through the media. For some, it was clear evidence that Whoopi was not being coerced, but was instead using the platform to express her genuine opinions. For others, it confirmed Musk's claim that her remarks had been amplified for ratings, and thus were inherently malicious. The courtroom buzzed with murmurs as the video played for the jury. Each frame was dissected and debated. Did the footage show a woman standing firmly on her principles, or did it reveal the calculated nature of a media machine determined to profit from controversy? Legal experts took to the sidelines, weighing in on the impact of such evidence on defamation cases in the age of social media. Even as the courtroom drama unfolded, the effects of Whoopi's comments were evident in the financial world. Elon Musk's legal filings included detailed financial documents that purported to show a direct correlation between the broadcast and a noticeable dip in Tesla's stock price. Analysts on financial news networks pointed to a sudden, sharp decline in market value that coincided with the spread of the viral clip. Musk's attorneys argued that this drop in stock price translated into real, tangible losses. Lost business opportunities, strained negotiations with key partners, and a blow to his public image as a pioneering tech leader. However, under cross-examination, a seasoned financial expert revealed that while the timing was suspicious, multiple factors were at play. A product recall had been announced around the same time, and broader market trends could not be ignored. The expert conceded that it was difficult to isolate the impact of Whoopi's remarks from these other variables. This admission cast doubt on the extent to which Musk could claim direct financial harm from a single television segment. For many observers, the argument over financial damage became symbolic, a proxy for the larger debate over whether a public figure should be held liable for his reputation when faced with criticism from another well-known personality. Was the lawsuit a genuine effort to seek redress for real-world harm, or was it an overblown reaction in a media-saturated age? Outside the walls of the courthouse, the public debate raged. Social media was ablaze with polarized opinions. Hashtags clashed. Defend free speech and defend free speech, hold them accountable, competed for trending status. Prominent public figures and celebrities weighed in, some denouncing Musk's decision to sue as an abuse of power, others commending his stand for accountability in a world where words could have real consequences. Late-night hosts made jokes that rippled across television networks, their monologues dissecting the absurdity and significance of the trial. In households across America, dinner conversations turned to the case. Political pundits argued that the trial was not merely about Musk and Whoopi, but about the state of free expression in the modern era. Was it acceptable for a billionaire to use his resources to silence a critic? Or was it inevitable that a well-known figure would face the music when her words impacted someone's livelihood? Within this maelstrom of opinion, both Musk and Whoopi found themselves navigating personal and professional challenges. Musk's companies, Tesla, SpaceX, and his other ventures, felt the impact of the controversy as investors grew jittery. Whoopi, a veteran of countless controversies, maintained her trademark defiance, insisting that her role as a talk show host was to challenge power, not pander to it. As the trial dragged on, whispers began to emerge about what really happened behind the glossy facade of The View's production meetings. Anonymous insiders leaked details that painted a picture of high-pressure tactics and strategic planning. One leaked email read, "If we can get Whoopi to really hit Musk hard on air, it'll be the coup de grace for this season's ratings." Another message hinted at a desire to capitalize on the outrage by making sure that every controversial comment was amplified across social platforms. In response to these revelations, Whoopi took to the air in a subsequent episode with measured clarity. "I say what I mean, and I mean what I say," she declared, her eyes fierce. "No producer, no rating scheme, no corporate agenda can silence my truth." Her words, though resonant with authenticity to her supporters, only deepened the divide among her critics. For Musk's camp, it was further proof that the remarks were not simply offhand opinions, but part of a calculated media strategy designed to harm his reputation. In private interviews, former colleagues from The View spoke of an environment where ratings were paramount and every opportunity was seized to stir controversy, even if it meant blurring the line between genuine opinion and manufactured outrage. These revelations only added fuel to the fire, with legal analysts warning that the case could set a precedent regarding the role of media influence in defamation suits. After days of grueling testimony, heated exchanges, and impassioned arguments from both sides, the trial finally neared its conclusion. On the last day of deliberation, the Los Angeles courthouse was filled with an almost tangible tension. The jury, having spent long hours poring over evidence, from internal emails and unedited footage to financial documents and expert testimonies, retreated into their deliberation room. Outside, a sea of reporters and onlookers waited with bated breath, their eyes fixed on the courthouse steps. Inside the courtroom, both Musk and Whoopi sat silently, flanked by their legal teams. The air was heavy with anticipation. Then, after 3 long days, the jury's foreperson stepped forward. The courtroom fell into an expectant hush as the verdict was read. In the matter of Elon Musk versus Whoopi Goldberg, we find that the defendant, Ms. Goldberg, did not commit defamation against Mr. Musk. However, we also find that certain statements made during the broadcast were irresponsible and contributed to reputational harm. Accordingly, we award a symbolic sum of $1 in damages to Mr. Musk. A stunned silence enveloped the room. For some, the verdict was a victory for accountability, a sign that even the most incendiary statements have consequences. For others, it was a reaffirmation of the fundamental right to free speech, a reminder that opinions, however biting, were protected unless proven to be maliciously false. Outside the courthouse, reactions were swift and divided. Some supporters of Musk hailed the decision as a triumph of justice, arguing that it set an important precedent for holding public figures accountable for the power of their words. Others cheered for Whoopi, celebrating the verdict as a vindication of the right to speak out, even against those with enormous influence. In the days that followed the verdict, the impact of the trial reverberated far beyond the confines of the courtroom. Media outlets around the world dissected the decision, and the symbolic $1 in damages became a lightning rod for debate. On talk shows and social media, pundits discussed whether the judgment was a genuine call for accountability or merely a hollow gesture that underscored the challenges of regulating speech in a digital age. Whoopi Goldberg, in her first public appearance after the verdict, addressed the nation with her customary candor. "I won't apologize for speaking my truth," she declared, "but I have learned that words carry weight. We must all be mindful of the power we wield when we speak." Her statement, broadcast live to millions, resonated deeply with those who had long believed that free speech was the cornerstone of democracy, even if it sometimes came with unintended consequences. Elon Musk, for his part, took to social media once more. "The verdict is what it is," he tweeted, "but the conversation must go on. Accountability matters. Let's keep the dialogue open." His words, though measured, were met with a mix of approval and derision, a testament to the polarized nature of the cultural moment. The trial's legacy extended into boardrooms, classrooms, and dinner tables. Legal scholars debated its implications for future defamation cases, while activists on both sides of the free speech debate used it as a rallying cry. Some called for stricter standards for media practices, while others argued that any attempt to regulate speech, even that of powerful public figures, was a dangerous overreach. In the months that followed, the Musk-Goldberg trial became a defining moment in the ongoing conversation about free speech, accountability, and the responsibilities that come with a public platform. Behind the headlines and heated debates lay a deeper truth. In today's interconnected world, words have the power to build bridges, but they can also burn them down. For Elon Musk, the case was a reminder that even a man with immense wealth and influence was not immune to the repercussions of public discourse. For Whoopi Goldberg, it was a reaffirmation of her commitment to speaking out, even when the price was high. And for ordinary citizens, the case served as a stark illustration of the complexities of navigating an era where every comment, every tweet could spark a firestorm. The trial taught everyone involved an important lesson, that while the right to free speech is fundamental, so too is the responsibility to wield that speech with care and consideration. It challenged people to look beyond the surface of provocative statements and to consider the impact of their words on the lives of others. As the nation slowly returned to a semblance of normalcy, the echoes of the trial continued to be felt. New conversations emerged in political forums, social media groups, and academic conferences, each grappling with the questions that the case had raised. Where do we draw the line between opinion and defamation? How do we balance the right to speak freely with the need for accountability? And in a world dominated by instant communication, how do we ensure that our words build rather than divide? For many, the answer lay not in strict regulation, but in fostering a culture of dialogue and mutual respect. A culture where even the most contentious debates could be conducted with civility and understanding. In this light, the Musk-Goldberg trial was not just a legal battle, but a call to all of us to engage more thoughtfully with the power of our words. In the end, the story of the courtroom showdown between Elon Musk and Whoopi Goldberg is not one with a simple conclusion. It is a story that continues to evolve, a story that invites each of us to reflect on the way we communicate and the impact our words can have on the world around us. For Whoopi, the trial solidified her reputation as a fearless commentator, a woman unafraid to challenge authority, even if it meant facing legal repercussions. For Musk, it was a moment of reckoning, a reminder that in the battle of public opinion, no one is untouchable. And for all of us, it is a testament to the enduring truth that our voices matter, that every word we speak carries weight, and that sometimes the most explosive conflicts arise from the simplest, most human of interactions. As you read this, consider the power you hold in every conversation, every tweet, every spoken word. Reflect on the responsibility that comes with that power, and let this story remind you that while free speech is a cherished right, it is also a call to build a world where dialogue is used to unite rather than divide. If this tale of high-stakes cultural collisions and the relentless pursuit of truth has made you think, even for a moment, then perhaps its true impact has only just begun. Share your thoughts, your questions, and your own experiences. After all, in a world where the line between celebrity and citizen is increasingly blurred, the conversation is something we all contribute to, and every voice matters.